In this guide, I'll be covering everything you need to know about an attachment of earnings, how much you'll pay back, and answer some of the most frequently asked questions. So, firstly, what is an attachment of earnings? It's an order given to your employer by the court to divert some of your wages to repay existing debt to creditors. You can only be subject to this if you have an employer, not if you're self-employed, and you'll need to owe the creditor at least £50. There are some groups of people who cannot be subject to these orders, such as some military personnel and certain people who work at sea. To be issued an attachment of earnings, you will first need to have received a county court judgment. A county court judgment, or CCJ, is a court order to pay a debt. Once a CCJ has been issued and you fail to repay, the lender can apply to the courts to issue an attachment of earnings. The lender may opt not to apply for an attachment of earnings. Instead, they may opt to use enforcement officers, also known as bailiffs. Or they could apply to put a charging order on a property you own. Wherever possible, it's always advantageous if you can come to an arrangement to repay without the need for further legal actions and orders. If you owe your local council due to council tax arrears, this type of order may also be used to collect tax arrears. You will repay the council debt from your monthly wages until all the council tax debt is repaid to the council. Additionally, your employer may charge a £1 administration fee when making deductions from your salary to pay the council tax debt. The amount your employer will deduct from your salary each month will depend on your take-home pay and disposable income. The courts will write to you informing you that the attachment of earnings is being considered. You'll need to write back to provide information about your financial situation and any other debt in a statement of means form, also known as a Form N56. You'll need to work out your budget and provide all details within this form and return it to the courts within 8 calendar days. If you ignore the letter, you could be asked in for questioning or even prosecuted. The normal deduction is £25 each time. This is what's stated on the UK government website, but it is not set in stone. You may also have to pay an additional £1 admin cost to your company for arranging the transfer to the court. The protected earnings rate is currently £150. If you're paid below this amount, you will not have anything taken out of your take-home pay. This limited amount is protected to make sure that you can pay for essentials such as food or rent. Now let's talk about the attachment of earnings deductions for council tax. You do not receive a statement of means form if your attachment of earnings is being used to repay council tax debt. This is because the amount of money you repay to the council is already decided based on your fixed weekly and monthly rates. Payments are worked out as a percentage of the amount you are paid. You can find the details of these percentages on the UK Gov website, or you can use an attachment of earnings calculator that you can find on local council websites or by searching online. Attachment of earnings deductions will begin when your employer next pays you after the order is applied, unless the next payment date is within 7 days. If that is the case, the following payment date is when your employer will start to send payments to the court. If you're on statutory maternity leave, your attachment of earnings order will resume when you return to work. If you're receiving maternity pay from your employer, attachment of earnings deductions will still be made based on your take-home pay and disposable income. What happens if I change jobs? If you change jobs, you'll need to inform the court, your previous employer, and your new employer of the attachment of earnings order. Your new employer will then be responsible for making the necessary deductions from your salary. An attachment of earnings order can be a stressful and difficult situation to be in, but it's important to remember that it is a legal process that is designed to help you repay your debt. If you're struggling with debt, then there are a number of options available here in the UK. Some are free to use and others include fees, and each will have their own pros and cons. If you want to learn more about the solutions available, then we've created a really great form that you might be interested in checking out. Click the link in the description to get started and answer a few multiple choice questions like the total amount of your debt, how many people you owe, your living situation, and we'll connect you with one of our trusted partners so that you can find out more and start taking steps towards improving your financial situation.